this and do the talking and all the various other bits and pieces. And essentially what I'm trying to do when I'm talking to you now is fill time whilst I find the document on my phone. There we go. Right, so I will talk about this a little bit just to give you some context before we actually start, because I think it's important. I lost my mother last year in a care home. I don't think to COVID-19, but she did also have motor neurone disease, and it was a rare variant, which also meant that she had dementia. She and I had what I would describe would be a complicated relationship, and alas, she was a very damaged soul, had a very terrible upbringing, a life that was very painful, and alas, as often these things tend to be the case, that damage gets passed on from generation to generation. So there are some things alluded to in the piece I'm about to write, which make some people feel uncomfortable. I'll make you aware of that, but it's brushed on so badly that I don't think it should be too troubling. So, I wrote two pieces which dug deeply into her life, into the history of her upbringing, the place she lived. I found out some wonderful things and some awful things. And I had three pieces I'd intended to write. By the time I got to the third one, I thought, I can't do anything horrible anymore. I'm absolutely knackered. This is just ridiculous. Wonderful, but also I didn't have anything left in the tank. And yet I still had one final assignment that I needed to write. So the first piece I wrote was called Que Sera Sera, which I'm sure some of you may well know is a line from a Doris Day song, Whatever Will Be, Will Be. There is another line, Heather, which is in there, which I also like and I think is really applicable here to this piece that I've written, and it is When I Was Just a Little Girl. It was her most favourite and comfiest chair, battered, worn, and a little bit smelly. Mo liked to sit in this chair very much. It was a big armchair that was much too big for her really, with big arms to lean against, and big wing thingies at the top where she could rest her head. When she sat in it, it made her feel very small indeed. On her good days, Mo would like to talk to all of the strange but nice people in the big room where her chair was. They would tell her stories, some of which were funny and made her laugh. Mo liked to laugh a lot. Other stories were sad and made her feel sad too. But Mo liked to hear stories. And she liked the strange people in the room with her favourite chair. If she was lucky, there would be Turkish Delight. Mo had a very sweet tooth, and Turkish Delight was her most favourite thing. She would ask the nice but scary people in uniform if they had any of her favourite sweet treat. Usually they had some, and were very happy to bring it to her. Now, Mo sometimes had bad days. She felt tired on those days and not very strong. Her legs felt weak, and it felt like a bad person was pressing on her chest, making it hard to breathe. She coughed a lot too. Sometimes she had to wear a mask that had magic air in it, and that made the bad person pressing feeling go away a bit. Mo had to wear that mask a lot, and in truth, she had an awful lot of bad days. Even then, when she was tired and it was hard to lift her head up, Mo would ask one of the people in the uniform to take her to her favourite chair. Then she would sit quietly with her eyes closed and just listen to the nice, strange people talk. The room with a comfy chair was very different from where Mo slept. Mo had a room all to herself, and it had lots of pictures in it. There were pictures of strange people, men and little boys, and a picture of this lady over and over again. Mo didn't know any of the people in the pictures at all. She thought they must have belonged to whoever was in the room before her, and then they had forgotten to take them with them, and she felt bad for the person who didn't have their pictures anymore. Maybe they were sad and upset that they had lost them. She kept asking one of the uniform people if they could take them away, but they always seemed to ignore her. The photographs scared Mo sometimes. They were like pictures of ghosts. And even though she didn't know any of the people in the pictures, it was like they now belonged to her. At night, she would dream about the picture ghosts. They would talk to her, and she would even talk to them. There were a lot of boys and men in the pictures, and they said strange things to her. Sometimes in the dreams, she got angry or upset. She would shout at the people in the dreams. She would say bad words. Sometimes she would even hit them. When she woke up from dreams like this, she always felt sad. Those weren't the worst kinds of dreams, though. There was a scary thing in those dreams, and it always came to her when she was in bed. She could never see it, and she could never fight it. The scary thing pushed her down to the bed and said very bad things to her, said it was going to hurt her, said it was going to take her nice chair away, said she'd be sorry. Then it would push down on her harder, and she would start to scream. She would still be screaming when she woke up, and the uniformed people would come into her room to calm her down. When she was very, very upset, they would have to give her medicine. The medicine made her sleep, but she wouldn't dream. And in the morning, she always felt better, though sometimes she would be a little bit confused about where she was. On her last day, Mo woke up feeling very tired. She felt like her arms and legs didn't want to move. Normally, this would scare her a lot, but today, she didn't feel scared. Slowly turning her head, she looked at the pictures of the strange men and boys on the wall. Mo sometimes felt lonely in the place that she lived, so she decided that she would try and make friends with the people in the pictures. Looking at them, she decided to give them names. There were 3 men in the pictures, and she thought that 2 of the boys looked like some of the men. It would make a nice game to play, and when she was feeling a bit stronger, she would write those names down. 2 of the nice uniformed people came into her room, gently got Mo out of bed, put her in a seat that had wheels on it, and for the last time, took her into the room with her chair. Mo didn't say anything, as she was trying her best to think of the names for the strange people. It was hard work and very difficult for Mo, but as the uniformed people picked her up and put her in her chair, Mo had picked the 3 names she would use. She felt very tired all of a sudden. The bad person pressing on her chest feeling was back, but this time it didn't feel bad. It felt comforting. And her arms and her legs and her whole body felt like they all needed to rest for the longest time. So she leant her head against the wing thingy, closed her eyes one final time, and thought about the 3 people and about Turkish Delight. As she drifted away, she wondered if Lee and Paul and Jonathan loved Turkish Delight too. That was me doing my thing. Guy, I believe you're up next, so please, if you would come to the stage. The heavy hitters are here now, guys. Brace yourself.